The Super Mario Bros. 2 has just been confirmed, and the biggest question is, are video game movies making a comeback? The new Super Mario Bros. Movie comes out April 3rd, 2026. And I think we can officially say that video game adaptations are making a comeback after the massive billion-dollar movie that was the Super Mario Bros. Movie in 2023. That just really solidifies that video game movies are kind of what's it right now. I know before there have been some really terrible adaptations from like the 90s to the 2010s, but the 2020s seems to be a lot of great video game adaptations, and hopefully the Super Mario Bros. 2 can keep it up. Okay, I'm just gonna call it Mario 2. I can't keep saying
Yeah,
that.
I don't understand. It's, and we're gonna talk about this too in a little bit, but like, just real quick, when BVS came out, Snyder and Warner Brothers, and a lot of fans were like, "Well, where's Man of Steel 2?" I still don't get that shit to this day. BVS is a direct continuation to Man of Steel. It's like months after the events of Man of Steel. It's a sequel. I know it's not Man of Steel 2. But when they asked Zach's like, well, it's not really a sequel. Yeah, it is, dude.
Well, okay, I think for this, I mean, the movie is called the Super Mario Bros. Movie, so the new Super Mario Bros. Movie 2 makes sense. It's just a mouthful. But going off what Edward said, they said this isn't necessarily a sequel. They're just
That shit makes
trying,
no sense.
they want to flesh out the world, make the world bigger,
Yeah,
but
but
it's
it's a
it's a
direct
sequel.
continuation. So yeah, it's a
It's
sequel.
I don't know.
Unless we're getting
That's what I'm a little bit worried about. Like, what if it's not a direct continuation? It just is
nuts,
the Mario Bros. Going on a new adventure, but it's not really connected to the first.
that would make no damn sense whatsoever. It's for
Especially
a
after
lot of
a
reasons.
billion-dollar movie.
The cast is phenomenal.
Such a good
The
cast. Yeah.
movie the movie made you a ton of money.
Yeah.
If you're going with a different cast, different iteration of the universe, you're really rolling the dice on that shit. And why fix something that's not broke? So I think it's a direct continuation. I just think they're
I think
playing
so.
coy, and I'm excited. I loved this movie. This was one of the funnest movies of last year.
Yeah.
It had everything that the video game ever had. The cast was amazing for all the people that gave Chris Pratt shit. I thought the dude did fine. I thought the rest of the
Oh
cast
yeah.
was phenomenal. The characters were as colorful and as lovable as they are in the video games.
So with Mario 2 being confirmed, I'm one thing I am a little bit worried about that you did bring up was the nostalgia for it, because I don't think they can rely on the nostalgia for the second one. I think they'll get a lot of people there, but I still think they need to make a better quality movie than they have, especially with the story. So what would you want from this sequel, especially with Yoshi being confirmed and them probably going with Yoshi's Island? What do you think you
That's
would
it.
want from it?
You just said it. I want Yoshi's Island. That's it. I want Yoshi's Island, more Peach.
Yeah.
I want Luigi and Mario, more of Luigi and Mario together, and I'm golden.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments what you guys want for the Mario 2 movie and what you guys are looking forward to it, and if there's any spin-offs that you guys want from the Mario franchise. Because I know a lot of people want a Donkey Kong animated film, and frankly, Seth Rogen did a pretty good job. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I would be too. I really do think the comic book, I mean, that the video game movies are making a comeback because, Sonic the Hedgehog, who I had no hope for that movie,
Mhm.
was great. It's fun, all out family movie. The sequel was pretty solid. We're getting spin-offs now. We're getting a third movie. Hayden Christensen is more likely than not going to be
Yeah.
our villain, which is fucking awesome. Mortal Kombat came back in a big way, and it did so during pandemic. That movie would have done bigger numbers had it not, been during COVID. And we're getting a sequel to that, which better not suck. And we got what Griffin and I and all of you guys out there know as well is when this movie got announced, we knew if this movie did well, we'd eventually someday, and I never thought it'd be so soon, we'd get a Legend of Zelda movie. which we're getting now.
But a live
And that
action one too,
movie,
though, not
that
animated.
movie is something I am very eager to watch, and I've been waiting for it since Super Nintendo, The
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda: The Link to the Past, which is my favorite Legend of Zelda game. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm worried because that, like any movie, that's either gonna be really good or it's gonna suck. And that one I think is and I just told Griff this, that one I think is probably the movie that if it sucks, I'll be pissed off about it the most because I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this movie. I don't want Tom Holland to play Link. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I don't really want Tom Holland either. And before she was cast as Peach, Anya Taylor-Joy was actually my choice for Zelda. I don't know if she can play both of them. But I feel like she
Why
would fit it
not?
really well. Because they're going to, because I still want him to cross over. I think that would be fun. And I don't think they could do that. I think it
They
would be
could
really cool.
animate it. Remember, there's a
Well,
Smash Brothers
oh, I know,
something in the works.
exactly. Yeah,
So
well, rumored, very much rumored. You're definitely right,
well,
but having them both voice it would be a little difficult.
we're
And
getting a live action Zelda, and this is clearly animated. So it could still work.
but then there's also Florence Pugh, which I know we've seen a lot of, but she could also do Zelda.
I like Florence Pugh.
Yeah, so she could
I
do it
don't want.
too.
See, I'm weird like that because I could. You can give me more of Florence Pugh. I've seen her in Oppenheimer. I've seen her in fucking Black Widow. I've seen her in
Dune.
Hawkeye. I've seen her in Dune. I could still, I could still do. I don't know. She doesn't annoy me the way Jennifer Lawrence or fucking
Yeah.
Aquafina do. So I could see. I hadn't thought of that, but I could see Florence Pugh as Zelda.
So then who do you want for Link and Ganondorf? Because they have to do Ganondorf.
They have to. I
And not
don't.
Ganon. It has to be Ganondorf, at least for
It
the
has to be
first two
Ganondorf for the
acts.
first movie.
Yeah. So who would you pick?
Uh, Fuck, man, that's really hard. Okay,
Because
so
Link
for
is the hardest one
Zelda,
for me to choose for me.
yeah, Link is super hard. For Zelda, I'd actually go Emma Watson.
Oh yeah,
I could
I've seen that
see
one.
Emma
Emma Watson,
Watson.
yeah.
Or now the chick that's gonna play Supergirl. I could totally
Millie
see that shit.
Alcox. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that more than Emma Watson and Florence Pugh. Actually, I think Alcox could do a
She
because we've
just
seen
looks like
her.
Zelda.
She looks
She
like
looks
it. We've seen
elfish.
her in the Regal role. She's young, so she can help carry a franchise. I think Millie's the choice for me.
Yeah. But Link,
Link.
I can't.
Tom Holland looks the part. He could do
No,
it, but
no. I'm sick of Tom Holland.
I don't
And
want
I
Timothy.
know that when I say this, people are gonna be like, I'm sick of him too. Timothy.
I don't want Timothy. That's exactly what I just said. I don't want him. He would, yeah,
He
but
looks
I
like
don't.
Link.
He's not gonna go for this role.
I don't.
He's not gonna
Would
go
you have?
for it.
Okay, 2 years ago, would you have told me he was going to go for Wonka? Because if you told me 2 years ago Timothy Chalamet is going for Wonka, I'd be like,
Well, okay. But my reasoning for this is Leonardo DiCaprio gave Timothy Chalamet advice that I feel like applies to this situation to not do any superhero movies. So I feel like this kind of falls within a similar vein.
I don't
And
think Timothy's going to
Timothy's,
listen to Leonardo
well,
DiCaprio's crazy ass.
that's what he said in an interview was that he would do a superhero movie if the script was absolutely right and perfect. So if Nintendo's able to get this script absolutely right, then I could
Yeah,
see him doing it.
dude just did
But I
Dune,
don't
and he's going to do a
think
third Dune. So,
but I
yeah,
don't think going off of Dune, Legend of Zelda is his next move. I don't know.
I don't
I
know. Orlando Bloom, I don't know
no, he's
in
too
what
old
I.
now.
No, 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 no. Oh, hell no. I wasn't going to suggest that. I don't know in what order he did it, but I know he did, Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean or vice versa. Those were
It
two
was at the same time.
see, two gigantic, you know,
You know what? Okay. You know
big
what?
blockbuster franchises.
We'll
I
put
don't know.
Timothy
I
on our
just, and
checklist
I,
for
and I'm going for Timothy because I just, if
he's a
you're,
great actor.
if we're talking about what Griff just said, which is a young, good actor that could carry a franchise, I besides Timothy and Tom I'm fucking sick of. I can't, I just I
Yeah.
don't know, guys suggest some names because you know,
So then
I don't
who would
know.
you go for Ganondorf? And would you go CG or live action?
No, for Ganon, give me live action. Give me a normal dude. And then like once he goes,
Yeah, once he turns
he
into
gets the
Ganon.
Triforce, then yeah, go CG. Uh
What about the actor who's been playing Ezra? If he could bulk up.
no.
No?
No, for Ganon, I want someone I can't fucking
Okay, give like describe your ideal actor for.
okay, this is gonna sound nuts, but Dave Bautista could probably do it.
Yeah, you
He
sound
has
crazy.
he has proven Ganon is big. He's not a small dude.
And isn't Bautista short? Because Ganon has to be tall. He's always been tall.
I mean,
I get,
Hugh
yeah, he could
Jackman
do.
plays Wolverine and
I
he's
know,
tall as
you're
balls.
right.
So
Okay, keep going, keep going.
I mean, Dave has proven as opposed to any other wrestler, sorry, Dwayne, but that he could act. He can legit
Disagree.
act. Makes me laugh, and he also makes me like so as Drax, I know there's not much there. Because, the Destroyer, he's just comedic, output. But as the as Beast Raban, he scared the
Yeah, I
shit out of
think
me. That dude was just,
those are his
when he was a
only
little
two roles. Everything else I've seen him in, he's terrible.
I don't know.
I
Okay, who
no,
would you pick as Ganon?
I would probably do a Middle Eastern actor, given the
Okay,
Gerudo people, but
got
I
it.
can't think of any that have the bigger build for it. But that's where my mind's at the moment is a Middle
What
Eastern
about the
act.
dude? And I'm not even gonna try to fucking pronounce his name. What about the dude that played Killer Croc in Suicide
Suicide
Squad?
Squad. I don't
Yeah,
even. What else has he been in? If I'm going
the
straight
Mummy.
off the old one, oh,
That is,
talking about the old
yeah.
one, the '95 one, right?
Hmm. He's got a great accent. He's got a great build.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in enough to say one way or another, but yeah, that is more of what I'm looking for. If he can grow some facial hair, grow some hair, or get a wig, yeah, I could see it. Then I guess since we are going live action, do you want a more realistic Ganondorf? Like I said, more of the Middle Eastern with for the Gerudo people, or do you more
I
want
want
the
the
dark
Ocarina of Time
purple,
Ganondorf.
orange? Yeah,
Tall, built, realistic is, it could be a black actor, it could be a Middle Eastern actor, it could be someone of, someone with an accent, someone that can act, someone that looks anyone could bulk up,
yeah,
but someone who already has a bit of size on them because it can't just be like, like a scrawny ass kid. It's
yeah,
got to be, and he's a thief. He's a magician. He's got to be a menacing fucking dude.
yeah. He has the presence.
Could be the dude that played Jafar in Aladdin, but bulk him up a bit. That dude's got a
I
sick
still need to
accent.
see that movie. Yeah, no, I could see that, but I definitely share a sentiment that if this movie fails, I'm going to be let down. I think it's gonna be
Oh,
very
I'm gonna be
similar
pissed. I'm gonna be really
to
mad.
how I was with The Flash. Because yeah, that's a bad movie, but I needed that movie to be good for all sorts of reasons, just like I need this movie to be good. I
Yeah, I feel you.
think this movie will solidify if Nintendo can build a universe or like continue to make movies outside of Mario. Because after Legend of Zelda, I don't know about you, Edward, or what you think in the comments. I know DK's on the list, but I think the next movie for me, I think your friend Jeremy said this as well, but I want a Metroid movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's got to
I
be
think that
Metroid.
would be the next one for me. If the DK can just spin off, but I think the next franchise should be Metroid. I just think that could be such a fun movie, and they can go dark with it too. They may want to push for that PG-13 rating, actually, if they go for it.
I don't know if I
But
think
that's hard.
Legend of Zelda being live action. I think we're gonna go for PG-13.
I think
It's
so
just
too, especially with that action.
some of that stuff is a little dark. Ganon is
I
essentially trying to conquer the world and then completely fucking it up.
see. I don't know. I haven't talked
Um,
about this. So yeah, the storyline is that going to be the storyline that you think just get Triforce conquer the world, or do you
it's
think they're
got to
going to
be.
go? Okay.
It's got to be get Triforce, conquer the world. Don't fuck that up. It's show
So
us the Triforce. Show us
then,
the Golden Land, dude.
yeah. So we know Zelda's gonna have Triforce of Wisdom. So how would you go about telling this story? Because in the games,
Well,
especially
I wouldn't have any of them have it. I would have the Triforce be, as it is in the Golden Land, and I would full out have. I
okay,
may be spoiling some shit, but I would full out
it's
have
like 30 years old. It's fine.
Link fuck something up, and then Ganon gets the Triforce, and he gets it and becomes super powerful and just wrecks shit.
At the start of
And
the movie,
then mm, about halfway through, and then Link and Zelda are like, well, everything's gone to shit. It's full out apocalypse. We have to, you know, rescue Hyrule. And then towards the at the end, she gets the Triforce of Wisdom. He gets courage, and Ganon keeps power.
strength. Yeah. Okay. Do you?
And then he gets banished to the Golden Land and
Yeah. No,
seal his ass up. And A
think
Link
you're
to the
right.
Past is part two.
No, I wouldn't do that for part two. I would go Majora's.
No, hell no. I'd go
No, they
full
can't
Link,
adapt
Link to the
Majora's. I don't
Past
think they can
sense.
ever adapt
No,
Majora's. But
I
that's
don't
what
think
I
so
was
either.
just thinking, because like I was just saying, do you think they're gonna go original Legend of Zelda or they're gonna go Breath of the Wild? But
No, don't
honestly,
go Breath on the Wild. Don't go Breath on the Wild on
most
my
of the
ass.
Zelda stories, especially once you get past the first two, like Legend of Zelda 1, Legend of Zelda 2, once you get past that, I think TV shows are better for Legend of Zelda because of just how much there is in those stories. Because yeah, I can see them doing the plot line in an hour 45 to 15 for the first Legend of Zelda, but I can't really see them even for Link to the Past. I don't see them wrapping up in 2.5 hours, or even
I can.
Phantom Hourglass, or
Well, remember, they're not going to adapt it,
not
stay.
perfectly. I know,
Yeah,
but
no, they're going to cut this shit up. And,
because what
or,
I still want is them to build up to Ocarina and get the split pathways. I know they're not going to because it's convoluted as hell and
but that happens
confusing
in the
for
first,
everyone.
that could happen in the first movie I'm pitching. That's exactly what could happen in the first movie. Like Link
No,
fucks up
well,
royally. Ganon, controls once Ganon gets the Triforce, that's where you get your split. Like when Link
no, I
goes
don't think
back,
so.
that's exactly where it happens.
No, it
It's so
doesn't.
on, dude, it's on
It
the
splits in
official.
Ocarina.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the first movie, Ocarina of Time.
Okay,
That's exactly what
okay.
I'm
You
talking
were
about.
saying adapting Legend of Zelda. Okay. I thought you were talking about
Well,
adapting the first game
that's
and not Ocarina. They can't adopt
oh no,
Ocarina
I'm
for the
not.
first
No,
one.
no.
This
Why
is.
not? Perfect.
I don't think it
The
would.
the first game, The Legend of Zelda, that's a
Yeah, I
sequel
know.
to
I
Link
know.
to the
Yeah,
Past.
yeah. No, I'm
Yeah.
completely aware. But I don't think adapting Ocarina as the first movie. I think it introduces too many elements that they can't wrap up in time.
I'm sure they could. I mean, it
This is
doesn't
what
have
I
to
would
be two
do.
and a half hours.
No,
I
you're
could sit
right,
through 3 hours of that shit.
but a lot of people
Or
can't. But
they could, dude. A lot of people
this is what
sat
I.
through Dune.
That's true. That's true. I think they go Legend of Zelda, like the game Legend of Zelda 1, Link to the Past, Legend of Zelda 2, adult Link dies off there, and that's when you
See,
start the split.
here's the thing on that for me. Like you and I play the games and we know that shit, right?
That's why
But
I'm saying it's convoluted.
the average movie viewer, and I'm not calling you guys stupid. I'm not. I'm just the average
It's confusing
moviegoer
for everyone, even people who've
is
played the
not gonna
games.
know
And
any of
that's
this
why they
shit,
can't
right?
do Ocarina. That's why that's why if they're going to
But
do
that's
this,
exactly
they should just stick with
why.
one timeline then.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't want them to do like young Link goes to the past, grows up. They can
No.
skip that shit. But I do want Link to meet Zelda for the first time.
Yeah.
She sets him on this adventure, and I do
Yeah.
want Ganon to come in and steal the
Yes.
Triforce.
Yeah, I totally
That
agree.
I
But
want. Yeah.
okay, so then let's just do one timeline. They can adapt like Wind Waker, Triforce, like not Triforce Heroes, wow. Majora's and all the other stories into the adult timeline. Just stick I think they then just stick with one timeline. They can't do the three. That's kind of what I'm
Yeah,
thinking there. They
I
can't
don't think
split
they
it.
can do.
That's why they can't do Ocarina.
What I'd like them to do is adapt Ocarina of Time.
They would, yeah, they could adapt it, but they're gonna like take the storyline and they're gonna have to like cut out several things, but I think they could do it.
I would just like it
But
to
they would
end with
end with Ocarina.
Ganon being trapped in the sacred realm, and then for the second one, you can get an adaptation of A
Yeah.
Link to the
Okay, for the
Past.
first one. Okay, yeah. For the first one, I can go with that.
Because I think if you start with, which is what happened to me as a kid, started with, the first one I ever played, the first one any of us ever played was A Legend of Zelda, the one for Nintendo. The story gets a lot further developed when you go to A Link to the Past, which is a
Yeah.
prequel to that one. But a lot of people, and I've spoken to a lot of gamers who are like, no, it's a sequel. No, man, that's a prequel.
It's
Which doesn't, which if you
I
follow the story, it's kind of like, oh man, they decided this shit
the wrong time.
yeah,
So then why would so then them knowing that, why would you have them make that same mistake again
that's
instead of just
exactly
starting
why.
again?
No,
Okay,
that's why I wouldn't. That's why I wouldn't
got it.
start with The Legend of Zelda because although it's a
Okay,
good
yeah, yeah.
game, it's the story's kind of just not there. And it's kind of like they were rolling the dice on that shit. They really developed it like Ganon
That just reminds
and
me of Final Fantasy.
all, Link and all this other shit in A Link to
Yeah.
the Past. That one
Okay.
is that game is 10 out of 10. It's fucking perfect. I've played every other Zelda game afterwards, and I still go back to that one and say this is perfect. This shit is
This entire time, I don't know why. I've been thinking about A Link Between Worlds. That's where all my confusion's coming from.
that's what I was like, what is he talking about?
That's
Got
why
you
I'm
now.
getting all messed up. Okay, yeah. No, you're definitely right. Yeah. Or that's just on it, or
And
they just
I
break
would
out of
at
the
some
games and
point,
make their own story.
yeah,
Same thing they did with the Mario movie. They combined a
but
lot of things into it. I think that'd
they could
probably
do
just be
that. But
best.
just give me
Yeah,
Dwarf, give me Link, give me Princess Zelda, and give me the Triforce. And however you want to throw it in there. I'm sure if it's done right, no matter what they want to adapt, I think we'll love it.
I
If
agree.
done right.
But is it bad? I do still want Link to die at some point. Because I just think that's such a big part of the character. Like even in any of the games, at some point he just dies. He'll come back, but the hero always dies and gets. I
It's a
guess
little
maybe
dark
maybe
because you want
that's
Link to die.
I know it is, but maybe that's how they end the franchise. Because like a lot of these these games are all about like the reincarnation of
I
the
think if
princess, the
they
hero, and Ganondorf.
I think if
If
it's
that's how they
successful, I
end
think they're
it,
gonna ride this train for a good while.
oh, 100%. But if that's how they end it with the reincarnation, I think I'll be okay with that.
I just
But
want
you know, you're
solid
right.
actors,
Yeah.
solid, hired good script writers, man.
I have
Really
to
crank
imagine
this shit out
the scripts coming is
because
wrapping up soon.
this is literally. I know I keep saying this. I've said it for other things, but this is. I just when I saw Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
anytime I saw fucking elf, I was like, that's all you got to do. Just what
So
Peter Jackson's doing, just do that for Zelda. Get Peter Jackson to direct this shit.
so 2027 or 2028? Because I don't think they're gonna release the same year as Mario.
2027. Don't
That's
fucking
so
make
too.
me wait till 2028. That's almost the year that John Connor destroys Skynet, man. Don't make me wait till almost 2029 for The Legend of Zelda.
But would you rather wait for it to be perfect? I would.
Yeah, but I'm already waiting for too much shit to be perfect
I
to
know.
have to wait for
But I mean, this is all
I
gonna be
mean, yes, take your
staggered.
time, get it right. Take your time, get it right. Give us the best. Don't give us an average video game movie because we've had
Yeah.
those. Like in the 90s we had
The Super Mario Bros. Movie.
yeah, that movie,
You know,
man,
that would be a fun one to review, but I think would you be 3 shots in?
yeah, no, I need a 12 pack to even attempt it. And I've seen it. There are things about that movie that as a kid, because I saw it as a kid, that I was like, okay. But there's also that 98% of the movie that I'm like, what the fuck were these?
The
Even as a kid, I
CG
was
is
like,
terrible.
what
It
the
just all looks terrible.
dude? It's it's Bob what's his name
I don't know.
that plays Mario.
Yeah, I don't know any of them.
Solid actor. passed
Who's
away.
also high and drunk throughout the entire thing.
I don't blame him.
That's have to be able to watch the movie. It's
John
insane.
Leguizamo is Luigi, who has recently come out, and he had a lot to say about the animated Super Mario movies. None of it was good. He was like, it's not inclusive. We're the Latinos.
What?
Okay, yeah,
Sorry.
John
Sorry. Sorry,
Leguizamo.
sorry,
I
sorry.
know.
No.
No, I
I
know.
understand exactly what you're saying, but I don't understand what
No,
he's saying.
no, I don't either. Because I mean, the Mario Brothers are Italian, so I don't
Yeah.
understand. He
And they
was
made this movie
cast.
pretty inclusive, especially for what the
He was
games are.
he was cast as the original Luigi,
Yeah.
but in the movie,
He's
if you guys
Italian.
have, he's Italian. You know, there's this whole thing about family legacy about how Italian they are. So I don't get his whole like where the Latinos are because he didn't play a Latino. He played an Italian character. Anyway, I did like the. I think that's where the whole Princess Daisy originated from because in the movie there's no Princess Peach. It's Princess Daisy. And that I think just stuck. And so many kids, because I
Did
remember
that
I went
spawn
to
from that
school.
movie?
I'm not
That
I'm
doesn't
not
sound
saying
right. That would
100
be weird.
I'm not saying 100% yes, but I
Yeah.
will say this. I had never heard of Princess Daisy before that Super Mario Brothers live action movie. So I'm gonna say that it spun from there and people just ran with it. Um, because now I just thought, oh, it's Princess Daisy Peach. But no, it's Daisy and there's Peach. There's
So,
two different broads.
yeah, okay, so she first started in 1989 Super Mario Land. So
I'd
that
never heard of her before. But that's just that doesn't mean anything. It's just
I mean, also, yeah, so that's 4 years before the movie, but that makes me feel a little bit better because that would just, yeah, I mean,
that movie's bad for all kinds of reasons.
do you guys want us to review that?
Koopa is a okay. So
That's just a funny picture.
To me, Bowser's always been a snapping turtle of some sort. You know, he didn't always have red hair, but he's always been a snapping turtle. If you want to get into specifics, to me,
Yeah,
a snapping
okay.
turtle is a turtle with fucking spikes on its back. That's what a snapping turtle or alligator snapping turtle from those, really down south of you. Uh, Here he's a Tyrannosaurus Rex that has evolved himself. It's just it makes no fucking
That
sense. It's just
I know I keep bringing it back to this, but that's just as, to me, that's on the level of Doctor Doom, the cyber blogger. That
yeah,
doesn't make
no,
any sense.
it's bad. They're not in the Mushroom Kingdom. So what happens is that the Earth got hit by a meteoroid and the dinosaurs got sent to this parallel dimension. It's fucking bad.
So
Mario
then,
finds his way. Princess Daisy hatched out of an I don't know. I'm not gonna keep going. It's just
so
my
then, what
head's
do you
gonna hurt.
think is the worst video game adaptation there is? Because that's definitely up there.
It's up there, but I don't think
Or there's
it's the
also like
worst. I mean, there's a
there's
Double Dragon
Hitman.
movie. There's a Double
There's
Dragon. You see the
yeah,
Hitman movies? They're dumb.
they are. I mean, there's also
But
like the Tekken Street Fighters, the first Mortal Kombat movies.
but I saw Double Dragon the movie, and that movie's fucking stupid. Also, say what you want about Mortal Kombat 1. The original one follows the game, first game and
It
second
could be
game
a
pretty
good
much.
adaptation. Doesn't mean it's a good movie though.
It's actually
I haven't seen it yet, but just
it's
I'm
not
going based off
it's
what I've
not
heard.
it's not fucking Academy Award winning stuff.
Yeah,
No one in there is like reading their dialogue like they're reading Hamlet or some
Shakespeare.
shit.
Yeah,
But I'm trust me, there's worse shit out there.
that's true.
But the sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, holy fuck, dude.
Is that the
That
worst one then?
it's still not the worst one. It's pretty fucking bad. I mean, there's a scene where okay, so the first movie is as good as they could have made it for the
Hmm.
time. The cast is, I think, as good as they could have had it for the time.
Yeah.
They actually have an Asian lead. They don't try to like make Johnny Cage like better. Um, Christopher Lambert's fucking Raiden. I don't know why. I didn't cast these people. Uh, but anyway, the costumes for this movie, you're like, that looks like if these dudes were real, that looks like exactly like the shit they would wear. And
Yeah.
this movie came out like in 92, 93, something like that. Then they make the sequel. which is a direct continuation. It literally picks up the exact moment the other one ended.
I like it when movies do that. I
Not
need
if
to
you
see
watch
these
this.
movies. I
Not
need to
if you
see
watch
them.
this. You're not gonna like it if you watch this piece of shit. And then you're like, okay, the last scene you saw in the previous one is the that's where this one opens up.
Okay.
Right away, you're like, they cut the budget. Right, opening scene, I promise you, you're like, holy shit. Just the lightning in the sky, you're like, what happened to your visual effect department? Okay, that's bad. The costumes, if I get the world's cheap, I did a cheap ass Halloween cost. Like that
Hmm.
I spent
Like Spirit.
$30 for my Daredevil costume one,
Hmm.
and I look better than this shit. They have like these foam like ninja suits.
Oh yeah, I remember. Actually, I've seen pictures of those. Yeah.
There's this scene where Scorpion and Sub-Zero are fighting, and you could, I mean, they didn't even bother to like, you know, Sharpie this shit out. If you pause, I can't remember what scene. They're like fighting on an ice bridge or some shit. If you pause that correctly,
Hmm.
you could see the Reebok sign on their fucking shoes.
That's so funny. I love it when that
And
happens.
you know, most people would be like, what's the big? First of all, these guys are ninjas, so they'd be wearing tappy shoes, which is what those type of shoes are called. Second of all, you wouldn't. It fucking sucks.
It just
Like
reminds me like the Game of Thrones Starbucks cups. At that point, it's just a meme. But no,
it's bad because you have like cyber ninjas, and you can tell you're like that's foam you're wearing, bro. That
is it
doesn't
worth a
none of that.
watch or just stay away from it? Like I haven't
It's
played any of the games.
it's worth the watch if you want to tear a
You
movie a
know,
new ass,
I think I'm
like
going
Batman
to
and
do it
Robin.
just so I can see how much better Mortal Kombat 2 is going to be.
You've seen the new Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Just watch those just so you could be like,
I think I'm going to
okay.
do it just so I can see where it could have been. Because that's
It's
what
just the
makes.
first one's visual effects aren't, they're not Star Wars or
Mhm.
Spielberg type special effects, but they're
I don't
still,
imagine them to be.
they did what they could with what they had, and it was still pretty solid. The animatronics for Goro, and then you see part two, and you're like, no, seriously, what the fuck happened between what you were able to do with the first one and what you it's
Mhm.
clearly not the same director, it's
I need to
clearly not the
watch this
same
now.
team. They're just and then as bad as that movie is, there's also Street Fighter the movie where they decided that they were going to make Guile the lead because Van Damme played Guile, and you're like, "Mm."
Dude, there's a lot of bad video game movies
If
out there.
any of you guys out there have ever seen, well, first of all, answer me this question, humor me. How many of you guys are like big into Street Fighter? And then those same people, how many of you have seen the gangster movie Blood In, Blood Out? Because that's your fucking Ken. That's that dude play Miklo. Shit. Can't even say this with the fucking straight face. That's who plays your Ken. Don't even ask me who plays your fucking Ryu. Because I don't know. It's just some scrawny Asian dude. Ryu is ripped to shit.
Oh yeah.
He's
Even I
built
know
like
that.
he's built like he'd fuck you up with just the flexing of muscle. The dude that plays him in the movie, holy fuck. I know I don't have a, bodybuilder's body, but this guy, man, he really needs a sandwich.
So, okay.
Sagat is it's bad, man. I'm telling you. Have you ever seen it? Street
No.
Fighter the movie?
No, no, no.
Okay. Raul Julia, may he rest in peace, solid actor, plays fucking Bison. Do I have to tell you more?
No. So, okay, one thing I guess I don't get, and I know right now we've been getting like a lot of more story-driven video game adaptations. Last of Us, Uncharted, Tomb Raider, not great, but we got it.
No.
So then why are they what is the appeal? Is it just action for these like fighting game movies? Because there's a story there, yes.
There's a pretty solid story in both Street Fighter and in Mortal Kombat.
I
Like if
agree, but
you
how can it really be told through a movie?
Yeah,
Street Fighter, I
it's
think
done
can.
right. So can
Mortal,
Mortal, so can Mortal. Well, Mortal Kombat's been told right twice now.
okay. Well, I mean, but the first
Street
one, like
Fighter,
the newest one, I thought you said that, yeah, it's a good movie, but it's not a, doesn't do the video game story well.
because
Or,
they tried to do something new when they didn't have to.
okay.
There's plenty of shit there where you don't have to like, you know,
Yeah.
don't fix it if it's not broke. That's a problem they had. Another problem they had is spoiler alert, there's no tournament. It's called Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat. It's the,
Didn't make, like, even I knew it didn't really make sense.
yeah, which is fucking stupid. There's a new character who I don't blame the actor. I don't think the actor did bad. Cole Young. The entire time I'm like, why is Luke Kane not front and center? And where the fuck is Johnny Cage? That's
Yeah.
all I thought about. Just give
Did
me
we
those two.
review that movie?
I can't remember right now. I don't
I
think we
don't
did.
remember. I don't think so. Okay.
But seriously, where was like Sonya's there?
Yeah.
Luke
Like I
Kane's
remember
there.
it being like good. It's just
So I just can't remember. The best thing about that movie, I'm telling you right now, is fucking Kano. That is brilliant.
I'm looking forward
Everything
to the
else,
second one. I think Carl Urban's gonna be great.
yeah, but I'm also worried that that's going to sideline Luke Kane yet again. Because Luke Kane is the champion. He is the hero of Mortal Kombat. You don't
Yeah.
need, and Johnny Cage is great, and he's there for like more comedic, relief and anything else. But you don't need Johnny Cage. At least I don't, front and center.
You know what we
And
need
I
to
think they're
do?
going to try to make him like equal to Luke Kane, or at least be the hero this time around.
I mean, recently, like with Mortal Kombat, I mean, even Gran Turismo, which a lot of people didn't like in when it came out in theaters, that was a
It's
great
still a
video
solid
game
movie.
movie, and like
It's
everyone
just,
I've talked to since it came out in theaters has loved it.
it's still better than a lot of this shit. Like I said, I mean, there is a fan made, and they actually spent money on this Street Fighter movie. There's like two of them, but the first one I
Is that on
saw,
YouTube?
yeah,
Okay.
the dude that is Ryu and Ken. Those dudes that looks like fucking Ryu and Ken. You have a
Mhm.
white guy and you have a Japanese dude. And when I saw that movie, and they don't ever do anything else other than to try to. I mean, they're with their Japanese sensei and they're learning, karate and shit, and that's pretty much all the movie is about. And then trying to, come out with their power. And it's better than that fucking big Hollywood budget movie that Jean-Claude Van Damme made.
Okay, so I know very basic stuff about the Street Fighter story, but from what you described, that sounds a lot like Dragon Ball. Am I wrong?
I don't know half enough about Dragon Ball
Okay.
to tell
Well,
you.
someone let me know in the comments. That sounds a lot like Krillin, Goku, and Master Roshi in like the original Dragon Ball. Someone educate me in the comments because I do not know enough about Street Fighter to say one way or another. I know like very basic
It's
things.
a solid story, man. I'm telling you, like there's a lot of heart there.
Should
There's
they redo
actually,
it? Do you think it's worth a redo?
yes.
Movie or
I
TV show?
it could be I could go either way. I could go
Okay.
full on Netflix for this shit, or I
You
could
know,
go
who
big
has the
Hollywood
rights?
budget movie. I don't Capcom,
Probably
I think.
so then probably Warner Brothers.
There's a movie. Well, there's several animated movies, but the one that is
Mhm.
just you're like, I don't know why they didn't just fucking do that. It's Street Fighter 2, the movie, and it starts off in the most badass fucking way I've ever seen
His
a movie start
animation's
off.
so
It
easy. So
it's
nice.
it's it's Ryu fighting Sagat out in the middle of fucking literally fucking nowhere. It's just
I'm into
grass.
it.
It's at night
Hmm.
and there's like lightning everywhere and it shows like when why Sagat's got that big fucking scar right here. If you just watch that 2 minute scene, you're like, it's
How much do you know about
do
Street
that like
Fighter?
that. I mean, I know where the characters come from. I'm not that. I mean, there's people that
Okay.
are really, really into,
I'm
but
just want to do a deep dive now. So okay, got it. I'll have to do that later.
you know what? If you can, the last time I saw that movie was on Prime. Check it out. The
Okay.
animation's just
Oh, the animated one. I don't know. I was talking about the live action. Okay, yeah. Animated one. Yeah, okay, I could do that.
Vega is a sick, twisted bastard in that movie.
Okay.
And in the film, you're like, I could kick his ass. Why am I Blanca's the biggest joke about the live action movie. You're like,
Hmm.
makes no fucking sense. None of that movie makes the best thing about that movie is Chung Li, who's in The Mandalorian, and
Who's she play?
um
Oh, what actress? Is it
Asian.
Fennec Shand?
I think so. I
So
always
Ming
fuck
Na
up her name.
Wen?
There you go.
Oh, I didn't realize she played Chun-Li. Okay.
Yeah,
Did you
looks great.
watch did you watch the Tekken movie?
No, I didn't even bother with that shit.
Yeah, I'm just it amazes me the number of fighting games that are out there and how they still have like same premise but like vastly different stories. So I think that's very impressive.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah, it's
But I
there's
remember when I was coming up back, early 90s, Street Fighter was just killing it. It was Street Fighter
yeah.
2, and then all of a sudden Mortal Kombat comes along and it annihilated everything. Mortal Kombat
Mhm.
was just crazy. More so, not because it's such a great game, but more so because it was like, oh, you can't play that game. And all the talk behind it, like, oh, it's just too violent. And at that time, you know, corporate white moms of America, like, you
Oh,
can't
they're
watch this
still
shit.
there. They're
You
still
can't,
there.
yeah, but it's not as prominent as before. Like now, you have South Park, you have all
Uh,
this other
I
shit
don't
that
know about
kids are
that.
exposed to. But like back then, I remember,
I think it's just changed because they've lost that fight, so they've chosen different targets.
I think they've moved on to different fights because I
Yeah.
remember at some point, you remember Pogs? You probably don't, but that they got that shit eliminated from school because it was quote unquote gambling. And I
Pogs?
remember
What is that?
like fucking little like discs that you would like smack with like a slammer and flip them over.
Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
They got that
I've
eliminated from school. Like elementary schools, there came a point where you're like, yeah, no, that's scam. It's like, what? We're not playing fucking dice here. We're just, it
and
got
your
taken from
kids. I mean,
school,
it's not okay. You don't have anything. I guess like
got
maybe
wiped
lunch
out,
money or like M&Ms.
got wiped out, which surprises me with all the other shit that does enter schools. But anyway, that's a whole
It's
different
tr-
subject. But yeah, so watch that movie. I'm really interested. I want to hear
Okay,
your thoughts on it. Street Fighter, check. It should be on Prime.
got it. I'll check it out.
You gotta let me know. But that that could be remade. Netflix,
Yeah.
go get it, man. Go do it. And it's a solid premise. It's got solid villains, solid heroes. Ryu and Ken are just some of the most badass fuckers out there. Get that shit done right, and I promise you have a franchise on your hands easily.
Do you think they should stick with live action or go with, sorry, yeah, stick with live action or go with animated where it works and they can do a lot more of the,
I do want a live action Street Fighter movie because I think it deserves it. I think it's got a
okay.
lot of heart in it. I think
I mean, especially with the
once
special
you
effects now, they could definitely do it.
once you understand like the dynamic between Ken and Ryu, you're gonna be like,
Hmm.
yeah, I want to see that shit.
I think if Mortal Kombat 2 blows everyone's expectations,
Then we're
they'll
gonna get
probably do it. Yeah, we'll
yeah, because
probably
you
open the door for so many of them.
I agree with what you just said because I gotta think that the dudes behind Street Fighter are like, shit, we could do that. We could probably do that better.
Yeah. And I mean, I 100% think so because I think what opened the door for a lot of these movies is probably Sonic because that's the one that really like that was the biggest success that video games has had to my recollection probably for 20 years before that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of shit. We've had
Outside of animation.
the Resident Evil movies, which they've
Resident
all
Evil's
sucked.
bad.
They've all
There's
sucked. Every single
yeah,
Resident Evil movie has sucked ass.
even the
Those
new
movies are
ones apparently
trash.
aren't great either,
No, those movies are trash, complete trash.
which is so disappointing because those could also be such great movies.
Yeah, zombies are big. I don't know how they keep fucking
Yeah.
that up.
I mean, it's not hard. I mean, if they can make a bunch of like zombie lands, they can make if Walking Dead could continue for as long as it has with as many spin-offs, you could do Resident Evil.
I agree.
Let us know what your guys' favorite adaptation of any video game is and which ones you want to see that they haven't done yet. Because there's a lot of good options out there. Edward and I both want Legend of Zelda. I know this is gonna be a huge one. Probably gonna be talking about it for years. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care, guys.